it is Laura from the Magical White Pages. I am completely, actually, back until I completely disappear off the face of the earth again. Yeah, that happens. Sometimes. First of all, I'll go into saying, 1, I'm completely, really sorry that I just disappeared. 2, I cannot promise it won't happen again. 3, we're just going to go right into it. I'm just going to do a quick video reliving some of the stuff that I have read when I disappeared 3 said months ago. Again, I'm very sorry. It happened. Also, I'm going to apologize for the lighting because I'm too lazy to set up lights and I randomly got inspiration to do a video and some energy to do it. So I figured we should go with it and not worry about the details. So let's just get right into it. Also, I would like to mention none of these books are actually in the order I read. I just kind of piled them all together and was just like, yep, I read you and you and you and you. So we're just going to see what they are and so you can see what I have completed. One of the things that I finished reading this summer, we'll just say it that way, is Percy Jackson, Greek Gods by Rick Riordan. This was quite good. I think I gave it 5 stars. It was really funny and it took so long to read it because I was reading it in between other books, gave me a nice little refresher on stuff, and I can't even tell if you guys can see all the picture because it's just so freaking huge. So yeah, that's there. Read this. Really good, I highly recommend. Another thing that I read this summer was P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han, which is actually part of a trilogy now. It used to be part of a duology, which I'm really excited and I can't wait to read the 3rd book. So, woo! For accomplishments. The next 2 that I read was actually part of a series and I was trying to get a little bit further into it, which I only got 2 books into it because there's a lot of books and I'm lazy like that, which was the Sword Art Online series by Japanese name I can't pronounce. So, I will let you just, it's right there. I don't know. Ask RJ from the Secret Stacks. He knows how to pronounce it. I heard him say it the other day. I read Sword Art Online Fairy Dance, which is book 3 in the series, and Sword Art Online Fairy Dance, which is book 4.
Okay, it's a 2-part out of the arc of something and another, and they have things like that, you know, just, you know, stuff. It was highly enjoyable. A lot of it had to do with, I'm not even going to try and explain it.
On to something else. Another book that I finished was actually Sleeping Tom by Evie Fairfall. I finished it. I haven't reviewed it yet. I will review it sometime. I'm not making any promises because every time I make promises I go on a hiatus and disappear off the face of the earth. So I'm going to try to review this presently in the said future. But I did read it. I read it. Yeah. I promised I would and I did. I read it. See the cute little bookie marky thingy? It's just kind of flapping all over the place. I also managed to read a book that in the long running I really probably should have read a long time ago but never did. And that is actually The Bad Beginnings by Lemony Snicket from the series of Unfortunate Event. It is the 1st book and I found it quite amusing, but it's really hard for me to picture that this is a children's book. There was some stuff in this that I really don't think I would want to read to my nephews. So I would wait until they probably were a little bit older, like 8 or 9, and not 4, 5 years old. So if I read this to them, it will have to be when they're a little bit older and not right now because it was an interesting book. I believe I ended up actually giving this 3.5 stars. If you look at my Goodreads, it says 3, but it's like 3.5. I found it quite entertaining, but like I said, I was rating it based off the fact that it is actually a children's book. So another book that I actually ended up reading was Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, and I love this book. I love this trilogy. I may be biased, I may just be fangirling, but this trilogy is so amazing. So while I was reading this, I loved it so much. I actually bought this book when it first came out the year prior, last summer, and bought it like less than a week after it had been released. And I never ended up reading it because, I don't know, one of those delayed, oh it's a series, I might as well wait until the next book comes out kind of thing. So, while I was reading this, the 3rd book got released. So, I purchased it while I was only a couple chapters into this one so that I could try and get this book and start it as soon as this one came out. And I did it! I actually did it! I didn't put it off. I bought this book and I started reading it pretty much directly afterwards. I actually was on 2 books at around the same time. I read this and I read the next book that I'm about to show you in a second, which I'm just going to shut up right now. So, very good. I gave both these 5 stars. I love the first book too, but I feel like these books really improved it and made the story just piece together even better. And look at how fat this thing is. And the last books that I actually completed was my reread of Cress by Marissa Mayer and my first read of Winter by Marissa Mayer. I think it's needless to say that I love these books so much, especially considering this was obviously a reread, so I must have liked it enough to reread it. But then again, some people do that when they're trying to refresh themselves on a book that they didn't necessarily like to see if they like it more. But I just went from love to absolutely love, which I feel is completely necessary to say, because if you haven't tried the series, try it. If you don't like this series, that's fine, but at least trying it I don't think would hurt. And if you do love this series, yeah, I want to talk about it. Yeah, we can talk about it together, because I love it. So, yes.
I should probably point out 5 stars. 5 stars for those last 2 series right there. Both books, all books. Possible biasness there, and I feel no guilt about this. I'm complete. Lunar Chronicles, Renaissance Chronicles, trash. And I think that's okay. If you are too, join me in discussing this in the comments below. Completely okay with that.
Alright, so I think that covers pretty much all of the books that I read while I was gone other places in time, in my travels of not really leaving my room and just kind of reading. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, please don't tell me, because those things make me really sad and very discouraging. But if you feel like it's absolutely necessary to tell me that you completely hated me and hated my guts, please do it in as kindly as possible. It would be very much appreciated. So, thank you, and I'm glad to be back. Bye, everybody!
Another thing that I finished reading, which I'm really excited about. Stop laughing at me. No, I'm not gonna say it like that, because that makes it sound like I was about to say something really bad, and then I paused. Okay, so sure, getting caught.